Well, Graham Platner has decided to bow out. Okay, we kind of saw it coming. We knew it was going to happen. I was kind of hoping to see him stay in there, but I guess the higher-ups, the establishment of the Democrat Party, I would say they're smart enough to realize what has happened here, but they don't care. But if I'm understanding this right, Graham Platner runs in the primaries, and the Democrats in Maine came out and gave him 72 or 73% of their votes in support of him. They wanted him. That's who they chose. That's who they got. Everybody else was way behind. They couldn't catch up if they tried. Okay, so in all fairness and due process, that means that Graham Platner won that primary and therefore should have been running against Sue Collins. Now, it's his own fault. Again, I agree that if he did do these things that these women are accusing him of, then he's got to face the music for that too. But when you stand back and look at the bigger picture, okay, now that this guy has bowed out, as anyone in his same situation should, I'm not saying he shouldn't, he should have bowed out. But now, the same people that voted for him should have the right to pick whoever the new crop of people are. And they've got until the 23rd to do it. And I think these 72% of Democrats have the right to make that choice. But that's not what's going to happen at all. They ain't going to have any say in it at all. The establishment is going to look at the available ones, and then they're going to pick whoever they want, not the voters. Now, I don't understand how this happens, but it does. And at the same time that 72% of Maine Democrat voters, they're being disenfranchised. Just like that. And the establishment is coming in and making the choice, not the people of Maine. I don't know how that works. I don't know. I mean, if I'm understanding this correctly, I'll do a little bit of research, and if I've got to correct myself here, I will. But I do believe that's exactly what's going on. And if I'm understanding it correctly, and I'm pretty sure I am, because I watched a video of Steve Robbins from the Maine Wire, and he basically says it in his video. He says, well, the establishment wins again. They're going to choose their new candidate, and the Maine voters, the Maine Democrat voters, are just going to get pushed aside. So I'm pretty sure I'm understanding it correctly. The establishment is going to pick the new candidate, not the Maine voters, Democrat voters. And yet, let's stop right there for a moment. It's pretty clear that's what's going to go on. Maine Democrat voters just got shoved aside, and the establishment is going to pick the candidate, which means the very party that growls at me and all the rest of us right-wingers that democracy is under threat and it's in danger of being taken away and all of this other stuff, this is exactly what just happened to them in their own party. But they accuse us right-wingers of stepping on democracy all the time. and yet their establishment just did it to them. Those voters that always bitch at me and my right-wing friends. Well, I don't know. I don't know how. Well, I guess at this point, all I can say from this point on, if you are watching this and you're one of them Democrats that keep crying about democracy in danger and democracy under threat and all this, I don't want to hear it. I don't hear it from you at all. I do not want to hear it. That's very, very hypocritical. I just don't want to hear it no more. I don't ever want to hear that phrase anymore. You guys do it to yourselves. And this morning, matter of fact, on WABI, they showed what the Democratic establishment said after Graham Platner decided to step down. They made their statement, and it wasn't that bad of a statement. But the GOP made a statement, and it was so spot on right. And it was basically saying, you guys chose him, and you knew who he was. You knew what he was. You knew what he had for baggage this whole time. The tattoo, the women coming forward, all of this stuff. You knew that he had a lot of baggage with him and that it was going to be held against him, and it could very well cost him the race, and it did. It absolutely did. And each and every one of you that supported him knew this. You knew you were complicit with it, and you were complicit with it until the wheels came off, and you couldn't be complicit with it anymore. Thus verifying that all you really care about is winning. You don't care about how you get there, you just care about winning. And because you've had that attitude, you're now in the pickle that you're in, and the establishment has to do the choosing for you. You kind of did it to yourselves, I guess, now that I'm giving it a second look. It's as if the establishment, the very people that you support, used your naivete, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what you want to label it, but they did it to you with Hillary Clinton back in 2016. And I said it back then. If you guys had just left Bernie Sanders alone, there's a very good chance that Bernie would have beat Donald Trump in that election. We don't know, but I think he would have, because Bernie had a hellacious following. But then the establishment pulled the same thing. They pushed Bernie out of the way and stuck Hillary in there, and Hillary was your Achilles heel. I don't know why anyone thought she was going to win anything back then, but I got to be honest with you, because of my naivete, I thought Hillary was going to win too. I really did. I didn't think Donald Trump could beat her, but he did. Now, hindsight's 2020, of course, I can see clearly why Trump did. Because a lot of Democrats across the country saw what happened and didn't come out and support Hillary. Not enough, anyways, to get her into the White House. Then, with Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, the same thing happened. The same thing. Your vote didn't amount to nothing. The establishment made the choice of who was going to run, and then that person won. You had no choice in the matter. You had to go along with their choice. You were disenfranchised. And now here we are with Graham Platner, and even though the scenario is a little different, the results are exactly the same thing. You went to the polls during a primary and you voted for who you wanted, and you got who you wanted. And yesterday, the Maine Wire came out with information. And again, we gotta make sure it's authentic. But if it is, Graham Platner's wife somehow received MaineCare benefits and in excess of what she was supposed to get. And there's a $9,000 figure. Again, I don't know all the details of it, but that in itself is what it is. And if it's true, then she's going to face the music for it, okay? But the main issue is the Maine State Attorney General and the Assistant Maine State Attorney General knew about this when Graham Platner started running in this campaign and then won the primaries. They knew all about it. The people at the Maine Department of Justice, they knew all about it. And when the federal people came to Maine and they started poking around, they found out this information. And I think they found out that the Maine AG saw this, that there was some kind of fraud going on and it needed to be investigated to determine, is this fraud, is this good, is this bad, or whatever. And Charlie Boyle, I think his name is, the Assistant Maine Attorney General, said, no, we're not going to do it. The only thing we will do is we might issue subpoenas, but that's about it. We won't do any major investigations in this. And it's clear that this Charlie Boyle was not going to dig into any investigation while Graham Platner was running for Sue Collins' seat, because he didn't want to do anything to screw it up. I mean, this is as clear as the nose right on my face. But again, it has to be proven, it has to be, authenticated. But it is what it is. It is what it is. So we got to see what today brings. And the Maine Wire was reporting that they have sources that may be able to add information to what we know about Graham Platner stepping down. Graham sat in front of his camera and basically said, I'm getting done. I'm not guilty, and it's not an admission of guilt, but I am going to step down so that the movement can continue moving. I don't want to block the movement anymore, and I guess he wants to try to pull whatever strings he has and use whatever power he has left to help the movement go in the direction that he wants to. And I mean, that's fine. That's his choice if that's what he wants to do. Personally, I think he literally has had his nuts cut right off. He ain't gonna be able to do anything now. Now that he said that's it, he's hanging his cleats up. It's over for him. It's over, and he can say and make demands all he wants, but the establishment got what they wanted. Oh, well. All right, let's wait and see what happens today. I'll have another video for you tomorrow. If something real breaking happens, I might even make another video and put it out today. I'm going a little long here. I'm up to 13 and a half minutes here. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'm Arno Betts here at Politically Unfiltered. I hope you guys all have a great day. Take care. We're gone.